New paradigm, who you are, who I am, is a luminous stardust being with self-awareness. We are the dust of stars. The carbon, the hydrogen, the oxygen in your body was made in galaxies. In fact, the carbon in your fingernail and the oxygen in your blood and the nitrogen in possibly your nose comes from a different star, a different galaxy, and all came together to make what is uniquely you, and it was all orchestrated in a universal field of intelligence or consciousness, Brahman, which manifests as Brahman, Kshetra and Kshetragya. The brain has no direct experience of the world. The brain's experience results only from an interpretation of electrical charges, and this has become the hard problem that there are billions of neurons with tens of thousands of synaptic connections. They don't create experience. What creates experience is consciousness using those networks. Just like when you watch your television, the program is coming from somewhere else. The images and whatever is being created on your television screen is not the reality. So too, your brain is not the source of experience, but it's the expression of experience. And your brain is sculpted by thousands of connections that are sculpted by experiences and genes that have basically given expression to life. So an integrated way of looking at this would be to look at everything that's happening in the body as an integrated process in a system of biology. Your biology is a system. So it's controlled, your nervous system is controlled by sympathetic and parasympathetic impulses, and the brain peptides include these things: opiates, endorphins, serotonin, vasopressin, dopamine, and now they say a new class of compounds called cannabinoids, which are called, the recent terminology, they call them ananda opiates, because they create the experience of bliss in your biology. And these substances are generated by our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and influence our perception, our breath, and influence our entire endocrine system, which is basically an expression of these molecules of emotion. And therefore, emotions actually create our biology, as do thoughts, feelings, and desires, sanskaras and vasanas, orchestrating the neuroendocrine axis and the experience that we call love. So love becomes the highest form of intelligence that actually influences the entire brain in a coherent manner, influences the peptides, the immunomodulation that is occurring at a cellular level, including how we have the experience of aging. Okay, so given that, we started research about 15 years ago into what we, when I say we, means not only the Chopra Foundation, which is a non-profit, but collaboration with other institutions, and also with the Gallup organization, where I'm a senior scientist. We started first looking at the ecosystem within which we live as human beings. And so every day you go to work. Every day you have social interactions. Every day your body goes through the, sorry, what happened? Every day your body goes through the process of eating, breathing, digestion, metabolism, elimination. Your body experiences the world through 5 senses. Your body is influenced by your emotions, your thoughts, your memories, your desires, all of that. So we said, what is the ecosystem in which this happens, okay? So every day you go to work, every day you interact with people, every day your body goes through processes of eating, movement, sleep, breathing, weight control, and weight stabilization. Every day you have a sense of where your financial well-being is. Are you happy with your economic status? And every day you're involved in a community. These are the fundamentals of your personal well-being. And so what we did, we measured personal well-being in individuals, in businesses, in communities, in countries, and in the whole world. And I can tell you right now that the number one country in the world in terms of well-being is Denmark, where 81% of the people are thriving, which means their bodies are joyful, energetic, their hearts feel love and compassion, their mind is restful and alert, and they have lightness of soul. 81% in Denmark. The number two country in the world is Canada, with about 70%. And then there are other Scandinavian countries. The United States at the moment is number 16 in the world. And this is on a, we've mapped about 150 countries, 160 countries. India is about 110 at the world, where only 10% of people are thriving. Only 10% of people are thriving. The rest are either suffering or struggling. Pakistan is much worse. Okay, 5% of the people are thriving. And we can now correlate well-being with economics, with the future of the country, with crime rate, with social justice, with hospital admissions, with traffic accidents, all correlated to well-being. So you might say, what is the number one predictor of well-being in of the status of a country or a community or a business or a family? It's their well-being. Number one. I personally have shared this data with the State Department of the United States, because what we were doing at Gallup, we were monitoring the well-being of countries that we knew were going to have revolutions. Okay, we knew what was going to happen in Tunisia before it happened. We knew what was going to happen in Egypt before it happened. We now know what is happening in Syria and Pakistan and Afghanistan, in India, okay, because we can map the well-being of individuals through surveys with 2,000 researchers in all the countries in the world, and we are convinced that this is the best predictor of the future of a country, of a community, of a business. So much so that I had in my class, I teach a class at Kellogg Business School, I had escorted by the State Department and the CIA the son of Gaddafi. I can talk about this now because it's over. But at that time, it was all hush-hush. His name was not to be revealed. He was escorted by people from Libya who were actually United States employees of the government, etc., because we knew that Libya was going to fall. And it did, because it was too late to change their story. Okay, because the quality of leadership, by the way, also is reflective of what is happening in society. So if today you have Modi and yesterday you had somebody else, it's the quality of the people that is reflected there. Okay, and what people look for is hope, trust, stability, and compassion. We can map this data, as I said. Hope, trust, stability, and compassion. So here's how we do it. Okay, this is very interesting from a sociological point of view. If you're at work and your boss ignores you, your likelihood of disengagement goes up by 40%, and you soon fall ill. If your boss does not ignore you but criticizes you, you get better. Your disengagement falls to 22%. But if your boss focuses on your strength, your disengagement falls to less than 1%. Only 20% of the people in the world enjoy their jobs. More people are dying of heart attacks on Monday morning at 9 o'clock because they hate their work. So when we consult with companies, the first thing we say is, find a person who shares your passion, who is inspiring you. You should socialize with people that you enjoy working with. But the most important thing for career well-being is use your strengths, share your passion, and have complementary strengths. And that's how you improve a business. Social well-being, here's what we find. If you have a happy friend, your happiness goes up by 15%. But if your happy friend has a happy friend that you don't know, it goes up another 10%. And if your happy friend's happy friend has a happy friend, it keeps going up. And our data shows that the best way to get rid of your enemies is increase their happiness. This is, and we're sharing this, by the way, with governments all over the world. And this holds true for other problems like obesity, diabetes, etc. If you want to change your health, get a good friend to join you and you're 7 times more likely to succeed. So, social well-being, similarly, physical well-being. Is your food natural? Is it processed, manufactured, refined, artificial? Does it have antibiotics, growth hormone, and other things? Do you practice yoga and pranayama? Do you sleep well? Do you move? And are you close to ideal weight? These are the main factors for physical well-being. Financial well-being, it seems that financial well-being is a direct reflection of your physical, emotional, spiritual, social, and community well-being. But people who are financially secure, they spend on experience instead of consumables. They are already in good health, they pay their taxes, and they participate in charity. Community well-being, we use the 3 Punjabi words, Simran, which is collective spiritual practice, satsang, getting together, and seva. And this correlates with all the other aspects of well-being. Okay, so let me share with you, this is of course the US, because everybody in the US is interested in the US, everybody in every country is only interested in themselves, not realizing now that we live in a global culture where everybody's well-being affects your well-being. So this is how we do a preliminary survey. So if we ask people, do you like what you do every day? And if you really enjoy what you do every day, we give you a score of 10. If you hate what you do every day, we give you a score of 1. And then if you score more than 7, you're thriving, which means your future is very good. If you score between 4 and 7, you're struggling. And if you're less than 4, disaster. You're going to get heart attack or cancer or something is going to happen. Okay, and for a country, the same thing. For a business, the same thing. Businesses have heart attacks, businesses fail, and businesses get destroyed. And businesses have revolutions. So, same thing. Do you get to use your strengths? Is there someone at work who encourages you at work? Do your opinions count? And the same way, did you smile or laugh a lot yesterday? Did you learn or do something interesting? Were you treated with respect? The number 1 cause of conflict in the world is lack of respect. Number 1 cause. Okay, people don't mind if you steal their money, but if you disrespect them, they'll never forgive you. Okay, so were you treated with respect? Do you have love in your life? If you are in trouble, do you have relatives who can help you, whether you need them or not? Do you exercise? Do you practice? Do you have enough energy? Do you meditate? How do you feel? Does your body feel joyful? Do you have love and compassion in your heart? Do you have a quiet, reflective mind? What I find here is people don't talk to you. Half the time they're talking to you, half the time they're looking at their smartphone. And then they interrupt and take their phone. This is the worst thing you can do for your brain. Multitasking is the one thing that gets worse with practice. Okay? It is the worst thing you can do for your brain and your body and your immune system. I hope I can emphasize this because your body is always in the present, right? Your body right now is in the present. It's regulating its blood pressure, its immune function, but your mind is in the future or in the past or in this little device that has now taken over as the number 1 addiction in the world. Then there's a disconnect between your mind and your body, and you're totally ruining your physical health. And this can be monitored today in the immune system, in the brain, etc. So, physical well-being, financial well-being, do you have enough money? People say poor people are happy. Please don't believe them. Poor people are not happy. Okay. Rich people, are they happy? Not necessarily. Happiness has a lot to do with other things. But mainly, do you have enough money to buy food? Do you have enough money to take time off? Do you have enough money to, if not go on a vacation, at least go on something that you enjoy? And similarly, community well-being. This is the number one question that we ask. Do you feel safe walking alone at night in the city where you live? This is the number one indicator of well-being for a community. So we find that this indicates whether there's going to be violence, crime, hospital admissions, traffic accidents, quality of leadership can be predicted by these qualities of community well-being. Are you happy with the community? Have you helped a stranger? Do you donate money? Do you participate? Why does God not care about us? And these big questions have to be addressed if you want to have total well-being. So again, we go back to our great traditions of Vedanta, which says the 5 causes of suffering, of spiritual suffering, is not knowing the true nature of reality, clinging or holding on to that which is impermanent. How can you grasp something that is not graspable? Being afraid of that which is impermanent, identifying with your ego. Everything we do in this world is about ego and the fear of death. So our great wisdom tradition says all the 5 kleshas are contained in the first one, not knowing the true nature of reality. And the true nature of reality is that the core of your being, Atman, is Brahman. And that the ultimate cure for spiritual suffering is to experience transcendence, self-awareness, self-reflection, exercise free will or choice, exercise free will or choice, and know the difference between that which is perceptual and that which is real. The perceptual world is called, as you know, Maya. The real world is the consciousness which creates that perceptual experience. And this is basically, I think, the highest form of well-being. If you can have self-awareness, and this is what Vipassana is about. Okay, awareness of body, awareness of breath, awareness of mental space, awareness of relationship with nature and the universe. Transcendence is samadhi, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. Conscious choice making is creative choice making, and then questioning perceptual reality. So based on this, we explore through self-knowledge through Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is the yoga of being. Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of feeling. Jnana Yoga, the yoga of reflection. And Karma Yoga, the yoga of doing. This is the only way to go beyond what we call the 5 kleshas, the 5 causes of human suffering. And a lot of people have been doing research now on what they call the happiness experience. So this is actually a short equation which is called the happiness formula. So H stands for happiness, S stands for set point in the brain, C stands for conditions of living, and V stands for voluntary actions every day. 50% of our daily happiness experience comes from how we look at a situation. So if you look at a situation as a problem, you're unhappy. If you look at a situation as an opportunity, you're happy. That's the only difference. And this is usually through conditioning in childhood. You can change your conditioning through meditation, through self-reflection, but also through questioning your beliefs, your limitations that you have put on yourself. Conditions of living, financial conditions of living contribute, so that's 50% of daily happiness experience. Conditions of living is about 12% of daily happiness experience. This means physical, material conditions. So if you win the lottery, and this research is all done, by the way, if somebody wins the lottery, let's say they win $20 million, In the beginning, they're very happy. After 6 months, their happiness plateaus. At the end of 1 year, they're back to their basic set point. If they haven't changed internally, money does not make them happy. And then the V is voluntary choices. Are our choices purely for personal pleasure? Shopping, sex, entertainment, alcohol. These are choices for personal pleasure. They make you happy, but for a short time. The choices that make people happy are where they have meaning, where they have purpose, where they exercise their creativity, and if they make other people happy. In fact, the fastest way to be happy is to make somebody else happy. Okay, so along the way, we deal with shadow energies, which create us versus them mentality, which create permission to do harm, which create dehumanizing conditions, abject poverty, anonymity, suppression. This is what is happening in much of the world, which is suffering today, and which leads to all the problems that I mentioned. But if we start to explore consciousness, then we experience what is called a multidimensional universe, the so-called lokas of Indian mythology. By the way, the word loka means location, location in space-time, as a projection of consciousness. So the word loka, location, locus is the same word. And as we go deeper into us, we find these lokas are within ourselves, in our personal, collective, and universal consciousness. And only through that we can find freedom from the prison of time and understand the meaning of death. Death being the most creative act of your core consciousness, where you basically take karma, memory, desire, and archetypal stories and take the quantum leap in evolution that in India we call reincarnation, but a safer word would be recycling. Okay, so here we are, the sum total of experience. Inner life, thoughts, emotions, memories, desires, sleeping, eating, elimination, movement, breath, sexual expression, nature, nutrition, metabolism, five senses, relationship. This is the totality of experience. And unless we have addressed the totality of experience, we do not have a systems biology. Our biology today is fragmented. Our understanding of science is fragmented. You look at this, then you look at that, then you look at that, not realizing that the totality is what we call life. So based on this, these are the conclusions that we can speak of in today's systems biology. Your physical body is a process, it's not a structure. And it's a process in consciousness. Your body is not physical, it's an energy and information field. Your genes are influenced by your thoughts, emotions, relationships, social interactions, and environment. This science is called epigenetics. You can change the structure of your brain to optimize physical, emotional, and spiritual being. And this is the science that is now called neuroplasticity. Only 5% of disease-related gene mutations are fully penetrant, so far as we know. The rest you can change. You can change your relationship with time if you do not multitask, if you have what is called present moment awareness. And the key to all this transformation is your own awareness. Okay, so now based on this, this is some of our new research that KK was mentioning. We are collaborating with Harvard University, Mount Sinai, Scripps, University of California, San Diego, and San Francisco, Duke University, with Chopra Center as our foundation where we do the research. And this is the very expensive research that we are doing in both digital medicine. Digital medicine means that today we have the technology that you can record your ECG, your brain waves, your stress levels, your immune function, even your hormones, through sensors in the skin. So we're designing clothing with biosensors. Okay, so when you wear a shirt, it measures everything from sleep to stress to emotions to immune function, has your medical record, everything. That's digital. And then we also actually can relate that to collective well-being, social unrest, crime rate, hospital admissions, accidents, and quality of leadership. So that's the first thing. Can we quantify? I've been talking to you about consciousness. Consciousness cannot be quantified, but the effects of consciousness can be quantified. So can we quantify through digital technology? Answer is yes. Can we quantify regulation of genetic activity through behavioral change? Answer is yes. Can we train people through regulate their own biology? The best techniques are in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the chapters on Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. Can we, in the future, see stem cell and cloning technology that is personalized? So stem cells and cloning from your own cells, from your circulating cells, because there are circulating stem cells being discovered now. Can we create nanobots? Nanobots are little robots which are the size of molecules that can be then given instructions through computer technology to repair your organs. And can we then create an era of personalized medicine which will extend to social well-being, financial well-being, career well-being, and community well-being? And can we create mathematical algorithms for this that will literally transform the future of well-being? These are some of the companies that I am personally now working with and creating the new technologies. Samsung, there's an organization called Fitbit, and the Apple is coming out with a watch which will have all the sensors. As I said, we'll also have clothing that will have all the sensors. So you will be wearing this watch on your wrist. It will give you all your biological information. It will also allow you to get on the internet and control your technologies at home, your computers, your light, your humidifier, your temperature, but it'll also be a phone. So it'll ring and you say hello, and you can communicate with the rest of the world. So I started off by telling, this is a new instrument that we've developed. It's called a Dream Weaver. It actually feeds pulses into your brain with light and sound and frequencies, and we use even mantras to do this. And the brainwaves go down to a frequency of 4, and within 15 minutes, a person can fall asleep without taking a pill, okay? These are some of the efforts we are involved with. What I did not show you right now, because I didn't have the slide, is that the 7 institutions we are collaborating with, we are already seeing that one can transform the entire genome expression through what I've told you this evening, entire. So your DNA doesn't change because you don't change the alphabet. Your genes don't change because they are the words. What you change is the sequencing of the words that make up your body. I hope that has been clear. So I gave you a lot of information, and I thank you very much for your attention, and I hope this gives us some feeling for what the future could be if we so desire.